Most of us use designer series paper as a background layer for our cards, but what if we could make it the focal point of our design? Today I'm going to show you how to use the black and white paper or images from the Artisan sketched garden designer series paper and add a little colour and shimmer and make it the focal point of your card. Hi, I'm Angela Palmer from Stamp with Angela. I'm based in Auckland, New Zealand, and I help everyday crafters create beautiful handmade cards with confidence through simple projects, practical tips, and creative inspiration. Welcome to this week's Facebook and YouTube Live. I'm going to be using the Artisan sketched garden designer series paper, and I'll be showing you how to use the black and white images and to turn them into a focal point of your cards. We'll add a little bit of colour and shimmer to those, and a little bit of fussy cutting. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'll show you how we do these cards and maybe you'll give it a go. So thank you for joining me today, whether you're joining me live on Facebook or YouTube, or you're watching the recording later. I appreciate you being here. And I hope that with today's live, that you get some ideas and inspiration to help you with your paper crafting and your card making, and perhaps you can use some of the items that you've got in your supplies. So let's get started and I'll show you what we're going to do today. Now, I should also mention that today's card is also inspired by what I've done at Coffee and Cards. So Coffee and Cards is one of the classes that I offer. It's usually at the beginning of the month. It's held at a local cafe, and we make 2 simple cards, usually within about an hour and a half, depending on which sessions you come to. We make 2 cards and it involves more simple stamping and that kind of thing. Great chance to get together with others and connect. So last week I shared one of the cards we made, and this week I'm going to share the other card. So maybe you're not local, you can't attend Coffee and Cards, but you still get to see what we create through this live. So let me change screens and we will get started. All right, so you can see here, this is the current catalogue. So it's the May to August catalogue, and if you flick through and see, I've got to find it now, the designer series paper. So on page 63, you've got a variety of papers, and some of them coordinate with suites. Some of them are, well, they all these ones actually coordinate with a particular suite. This one that we're going to use today doesn't, and this one is also another one that's meant to kind of work with others. So we're using the Artisan sketched garden designer series paper, which is a black and white paper. So you might think, oh, okay, how am I going to use that? So let me show it to you, and then I'll show you how we're going to use it. Now, just to give you a heads up, this has been so popular that just in the last couple of days, it did go out of stock, but, well, it's, maybe I should say, not currently available. So they will be getting some more, so just keep an eye out for when it's coming back. Now, what you can do is if you go to the online store, you can actually put in your email address and ask for a notification. So when it comes back, you can see when it's available. All right, now this first sheet, I have used lots of it, so I've only got a small piece left. So the whole sheet is lots of different images like this with plants and flowers and all that kind of thing, which is what we're going to use today. We've also got these other designs, lots of flowers and things, and you might think, oh my goodness, that's huge, but you don't have to use the whole part. You can use small images. This is something else that you could quite easily color and cut out as a focal point. This one here is more of a bigger design. Another one, this also you could cut out some of those images, and we've got these ones here as well. Now if you look at the other side, this is more of a white background with an image. These are more patterns. So some are more black, some are more white, striped, dots, flowers. So lots of different ways that you could use these papers. So very versatile. Okay, so what I'm going to focus on today is using images from here. So what I did for my class was I cut a whole lot out, not properly cut out, just sort of, I'm just going to find a few more, cut them out like this, and they could choose which ones they wanted to use as the focal point on their card. So today I'm going to use this one. And I felt that I needed to obviously add something else to the card. And I'll show you what I did. So I, for coffee and cards, use note cards. And I often like to stamp on something else and then put it onto the note card. So if we do make a mistake, you got a chance to turn over or do it again or whatever. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make the background and then we'll do some colouring. So I have cut an oval shaped out of another piece of card. Now this particular die I've used, you might find circles or squares or whatever you've got in your stash you could use. I've got it from the Framed Violets dies, and it's this die here. Now you might think, I haven't seen that. And no, you haven't seen it because it's coming out in July as part of our online exclusives. So this is something new, but it was a perfect size for what I needed. Now the other thing with this card is I wanted to use the in colors. All right. I'm loving the new in colors, and I'm particularly loving the new ink pads. Now I've already got some cards made. I'm not going to show you. I'm going to make the card and then you can see what we're doing. I've made some in some of the colors. I'm going to make one in Barely Blush so we can have an example in that example. So easy to open. And I'm going to use a blending brush and color my background. All right. Now I'm just going to, it's not quite perfect, so I'm going to come slightly more to the left and sponge it in color. Now that hardly looks like anything, but if you have a look, there is actually a bit of color, but we definitely need lots more. So with your sponging, particularly the darker colors, start off and then circle motions and come on. Remember, you can always add more, you can't take it away. And obviously we want it bright enough to see, but not too bright that we take away from our image that's going to go on the front. So this is kind of just adding a background to our card. Now usually designer series paper is actually more in the background, but we're changing that and we're going to make that our focal point, and this is going to be our background. So can you see that now? That looks pretty good actually. I like that. So this is Barely Blush that I'm using. Now the fun part, close this up. I am going to color it using a combination of blends and the shimmer brushes. Now bear in mind with blends it does tend to come through on the other side, but that's okay. So so I've got some stamping blends here, and I've also got some shimmer brushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my leaves just in a normal stamping blend. I'm going to do my flowers in the shimmery color. And then I'm going to add a bit of water to my vase. So there's not really blending the two dark and light colors together because they're quite small. I'm going to go with the light for my leaves. And you've got two ends. You've got the narrow tip and there's a narrow line. You've got the thick tip and a thick line here. So you can see before you open it which end you want to open. So this is very intricate. So I'm just going to use my thin end. And I do favor the thin end more because you've got a bit more control. And if you're not careful, then the other end will get a bit squished and damaged and not so good. So I favor this end unless you are maybe coloring a big area. All right, so coloring all our leaves. Don't really need to color them, but I'm just adding a bit of color to those. Now you could use another green if you wanted, but I'm going to stick with the in colors. All right, well, we missed a couple up there. Now the important thing with stamping blends is it is tight to open them and close them. They are alcohol based, so if you leave them off, they're going to dry out. So just keep the lids on, don't leave them lying around because they will dry out. And also if you are coloring a big area and you do want to blend the colors, just work on small areas at once, because if you color something up here and color here and then you go to blend, it will have dried. All right, so now the fun part. We're going to use our shimmer brush. So they're kind of like a Winker Stella, but they've got color in them. So when you first get them, you can open this. In this part here, there'll be a little white plastic thing. So you need to unscrew it, remove that, and then put it together. And that way the glitter can come through. Now, when you're first using it, this will be completely white. And it says here, push. So you're going to squeeze it and you'll see the color come down. Now, I haven't used this for a little while, so I will squeeze it to get it going. And can you, let's see if you can start to see bubbles, and you can kind of, oh, here it comes. And I would not do it on my project because it might see like that. It's going to be quite blobby. All right, so now that it's going, I'm going to color my flowers. Now with the lighter color, you do have to be a little bit careful. It might pick up some of the black slightly. So I'm trying not to go over the lines, but just color in the spaces. All right. I'm sort of just going over it a couple of times just to make it stand out a bit more. So there we go. Now, I don't know if you can kind of see in the camera, but it's got a bit of shine to it. I can, so I don't know if you can, but that's very cool. And then put the lid on. I wouldn't store them down because otherwise all the thing is going to run. If you can, maybe store them level or maybe upright, and then when you need to use it, you'll just have to get it going again. All right. Now, the question, I could add water with my hydrangea hue and it would be like sparkly, or I might just go with a light pool party and just colour. Now, what I'm going to do, I will do a little bit of blending with this. I'm doing kind of circle motions to avoid the lines too much, but I might just add a bit of blending with it. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm kind of doing circles to avoid the lines. It looks like we've got a bit of water in there. I am going to come in with my dark and kind of where these lines are, we'll give a bit of shadowing. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? And then I'm going to come back in with my light again. So we are actually doing a little bit of kind of blending. All right. Very good. So that's our image. So do you know what we need to do next? Now, some people love this and some people don't. We are going to fussy cut. Now, some people like to go like right up to the black line. Some people like to leave a little bit of a, what's the word? A little bit of white. I'm going to leave, I'm not going right up to the black. I'm just going to leave a slight white edge and cut around. So sometimes we have dies to cut things out, and sometimes we need to fussy cut. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now remember, basically keep your hand and your scissors still. It's the paper that we're moving around. Now, if you're left-handed, obviously you'll hold it the other way around. And I'm not quite sure how our scissors are for left-handed people. But these paper snips have been out of stock for a while because the supplier, wasn't supplying anymore. But the good news is, I believe in July, the new paper snips are coming. So that will be exciting. So if you've been waiting for paper snips, they will be here next month. I think we can pre-order as a demonstrator, one of the perks of being a demo. But I'm just going to cut that bit off to get it out of the way. Customers will be available to customers next month. So that's cool. All right. So I've picked a really intricate one to cut out, haven't I? I'm actually standing, which is not good. I'm bending my back over. So I'm going to grab my chair and sit and talk to you as I fussy cut. Let me know. Tell me in the comments. Do you like to fussy cut? Like you love fussy cutting? You don't mind, or you really don't like it? Let me know in the comments. I don't love it, but I certainly don't mind fussy cutting. I definitely like it. If there is a die, give that to me. I'd love to use a die. But sometimes with something like this, there is no die, so we do have to fussy cut. So let's have a look in the comments and see what people are saying. All right, I'm looking to see who's joining me today. I see Linda's here and Elizabeth is here. Welcome. Good to have you here. Hope today's cards and ideas inspire you. Now, with our mask here, we don't have to cut something out of designer series paper, you could quite easily stamp an image in there, or you might want to stamp an image, and it could be flowers or something or whatever, and you could cut it out with or without a die or fussy cut, and you could put that in there as well. But I wanted to show you how we can use this designer series paper and use it more as a focal point rather than the background, which often designer series paper is used for. We have, another something else is the focal point, and the designer series paper just sits in the background. Whereas this time, we're using a very small part of the designer series paper, and that is going to be our focus. Yay, we're nearly there. You put up with me fussy cutting. All right, there we go. Now, if you felt that you didn't want all the white showing, you could sponge kind of a little bit in the background, because I can't cut all that out. You could, a little bit of green. The problem is it would probably go on the flowers. I'm not going to touch it. You could, let's cover that and then sponge. You'd have to use a dauber or the edge of the sponge and just sponge around there. But I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm fine with that. Okay, so what are your thoughts so far? I need to check comments. I was, looking at my my fussy cutting, so I didn't get to see comments and things. So I see Jocelyn prefers not to fussy cut, but does when needed. Linda doesn't like fussy cutting. Yeah, I know it's a bit hard. So Elizabeth doesn't mind. So yeah, some people love it, some people don't. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, because of the Barely Blush is my focal color, I'm going to make that my border. So the size of these papers are exactly the same as what I used last week when I did the card, which was that kind of sunset and boat scene. So this white piece, I'm in centimeters, sorry. I should try and find out the imperial for it, is 8 centimeters by 11.8. And then my colored piece is 8.5 by 12.3. All right. So I'm using my note cards, perfect for what I use for coffee and cards. They come with both cards and envelopes. They're pre-scored, ready to go. I don't know if you can see the score line there. So I'm going to fold it, but I am just going to kind of manipulate it and make sure it matches up, and then fold it, and also grab my bone folder. So you could adapt this and make it into a standard size card as well. All right, then we're going to adhere with tape or glue. I'm a glue person, it's nice and quick. And put that on. The thing I like with glue is I've got a moment to be able to adjust it if I need to. All right, so then what I'm going to do is put this on like so. So I'm going to get some dimensionals, and some mini ones would be good, but I don't have those handy. So I've got some here which I haven't even colored with my highlighter. I've just grabbed these. I'm going to cut a couple in half because there's a few bits that hang out the side. So we're going to put some big ones kind of here, like so. And then I'm going to put some half-size ones on the bits that kind of stick out. So like that, there. And what I'm actually going to do is cut this bit in half. I use all the bits of my dimensionals and put one up here. I really picked one of the more difficult ones to do. Some of the others are really quick and easy to do and not as fancy to fussy cut. And I might just put another narrow one there. And just adding that dimension helps raise it up. I'll just show you. Just really adds. Now this is quite a big image, so you're not seeing much of the background, but imagine if it was just on a white card. Have I got a white card to show you? Here's a white piece. I'll just show you the difference. If I just put, it's not the right color, but I mean, you could do that. Do you see what I mean? But it kind of feels like it's sitting in the middle of nowhere. Whereas this here kind of centers it, if you know what I mean. It kind of feels it, draws it in. So that's why I've done that masking. Now I've got to take all these off. What I should do is use my take your pick tool to pull them off. That's my favorite way of doing it. Now, if it was highlighted, I would know which ones I've taken off and which ones I haven't. When I haven't, rather than touch them all and lose their stickiness. Okay, let's see if we can get our vase. Trying to work out if I go slightly lower or, yeah, I think we want to see the top of the oval. Although it's going to be a bit close for our sentiment. No, I am going to go up slightly. Okay, isn't that pretty? Very good. So we need a sentiment. So these are the strips cut off from my white pieces, and they're perfect for a sentiment. We could stamp directly on it, but since I've raised that, I want to raise my sentiment as well. So I've got a variety of sentiments, and one of my favorite ones that I like to use is the Simply Said, which is retiring. Sad to know that it's going, and I've used it on quite a few, so check it out if you want to get it before it's gone. I'm actually going to use a very versatile. I'm thinking, do I need birthday? Do I need thanks? I don't know. So I'm going to go for one that says for you, and then I can kind of decide later what I want it for. Where is my mat? This was off the butterfly set. I'll show you in a second. That's pretty good. Sometimes if you push too hard, then it goes kind of fat and it doesn't look good, but actually I'm happy with that. So I have used it from dropping stamps. This one, which was around for a while, with the For You. It's a good one to use. Okay, so I'm going to trim that. I'm going to do straight here and like that. Okay, I love this color. Wasn't sure about Blushing Bride initially. Not Blushing Bride. That's an old color. Barely Blush, because it's quite light. That's quite little. I wonder if I could make it come from there. I think the angle is too up, so I'm going to just angle it down. All right, so grab a, what do you call it? Dimensional or two. Right. And we're going to adhere this. Okay, there we go. All right, now to finish it off, do you know what I need? What should we do to finish it off? All right, so I have got some in color, what do you call them? Dots and butterflies. So they've been popular in my classes. I haven't got many left. So let's go for the Barely Blush. And I'm going to put two over here and then one down here. Odd numbers are good. There we go. I mean, I have got butterflies, which I could add to, but I think I'll just leave it at that. All right, so there we go. So this is our Barely Blush card. I don't know, can you see that shimmer in there with the flowers? I can. Let me show you the other ones that I have made with different images in different colors. All right. So, see if you can tell me what the colors are. So, I've got this one here. Do you know what the green color is? So, it's one of the in colors. Give you a chance to answer. This is Peaceful Pine. Now you'll notice the border is slightly wider on this. The reason being, once I'd sponged it, I felt it wasn't quite centered. So I just trimmed a little bit off one side and the bottom. So it did give a slightly wider border. We've got this one here. Do you know what color this is? This is Crisp Cantaloupe. And then we've got, I'll save my favorite to last. This one here, this yellowy mustardy color. What's this one called? This is Golden Glow. And I've added a bit of shimmer in the water on this one, which is cool. And this is exactly the same image, but different color. And this is hydrangea hue. Okay. So you'll see that I've done quite a few thanks cards, and then I did a couple with for you. Here's another one. All these have got like, well, these four anyway, I've got vases with water in it. That one's like a pot kind of thing. And this one here is more of a plant than a flower. So for this one, I didn't really want to make the leaves shimmery. So I've added, this is the Golden Glow blend, and I've added some of the sparkle on the actual pot. I don't know what you're going to call it, container for the pot, for the plant. So there you go. So there is a variety of note cards. So this is using the Artisan Sketched Garden Designer Series paper. So it's a sheet like this with a whole lot of images that's on the back. And you can just fussy cut, or just, I roughly cut them out, colored them, and then cut them out more intricately like this. You can color it and then add it to your card. So I think just adding that dimension lifts it up, and also having that masked shape in the background just kind of draws it in, and it brings in the colors of, you know, what's in the border. Now you'll notice that for the embellishments, like this one, I've gone same. This is Peaceful Pine and Peaceful Pine, Barely Blush, Barely Blush, Chris Cantaloupe, and same with these. But this one, I have used contrasting colors. So I've used my Chris Cantaloupe for the border and for that. This is Golden Glow, and then this is the Peaceful Pine, and my embellishments are that. So some of them, the colors are similar, and then this one I've done contrasting. So all sorts of possibilities, and they're not too hard to make. Do you know what I mean? Now these are note cards, but you could, you know, put an image on a slightly bigger card as well. But I had fun doing them, and we enjoyed doing them at Coffee and Cards. So if you are keen on this paper, I'll show you a couple of other cards with some of the other papers as well. So you've got these, and then also you could use these images. They're not in a pot, but they, if you're wanting something, these are a bit smaller, so you'd probably see more of the border as well. You could color those and put them onto. Or there's the other designs as well. When I went on stage, we got to use this designer series paper, and we made 2 cards, and I will show those to you when I find them, because I've buried them. So it's the same paper. I'll show you the paper first, if I can. Is it this one? This paper here, right? So it's quite a busy design. So this one here, I have coloured the flowers using the stamping blend. So you'll see I've used the Peaceful Pine. I think it was Peaceful Pine. I'm not sure now. Actually, it might be Old Olive. So I've coloured the leaves, and then the flowers, a couple of contrasting colours, and arranged it offside. We've got white background. This one is, I've left the flowers and I've coloured the background, which was something I never thought of that we did there. So a couple of possibilities of using the other sheet, and it's kind of a lot of black and white with a bit of pop of colour with that coming through. So same papers, but quite different cards. All right. So if you're local to me and you ever want to come along to Coffee and Cards, it's at Vero Cafe in Unsworth Heights. So this month we made these cards, and then we also did these. If you want to see how to make them, check out last week's video. And this is more involving lots of stamping. Hardly any stamping in this one, because we're using the images that are done in just a sentiment, whereas this is lots of stamping. You're building up the image with these cards and adding a sentiment. So this is the kind of thing that we do. So if you're local and you want to come, it is during the week though, and I know some of you can't come during the week. But then I will sometimes share some of the things that we do here, so you get to see them. If you're in an area and you'd like to do Coffee and Cards, why don't you reach out to me, and I could share some ideas on how you could maybe get together with some people and do a Coffee and Cards. You may not have the resources to make up a card kit and make these cards, but there are lots of kits out there. You could buy a kit and then each make, 2 different cards from it. It's the gathering, it's the coming together, it's the connecting. It's fun making the cards, but it's also that connection and that time for you, and time to connect with others and go with friends and meet new people. So it's lots of fun. Now, the other thing I'd like to let you know about is a promotion at the moment that's only here for a couple of days. Does anyone know what it is? It is free shipping. So from today, the 11th of June until the 13th, which is a Saturday, there is free shipping on orders that are $100 or more. So that's $100 of product, and then there's no shipping. If your order is $90, you'll still have to pay the usual $10.95 in shipping. But once it reaches $100, then it is free shipping. So if you've got items that were in the catalog that you've been wondering about buying but you haven't got yet, or you need to stock up on some glues or cardstock or whatever, now's a good time because you'll save on the shipping. Now, if you're local to me and you've got an order and it's not $100 but it might be $50, reach out to me, because we could do it as a group order and put it together, and then you won't pay shipping and things. So let me know. If you're further away, then as long as it's not 12 by 12s, because they're probably the same cost as normal shipping, then I could always just send it to you and it won't cost as much as the normal $10.95 plus. So check out the online store, see what you like. Now, like I said, some of these products are popular. Some of the designer series paper is currently unavailable, but it will be coming back in stock in the next couple of weeks. So unfortunately, for free shipping, you won't be able to get a couple of the papers until they're back. And that's the other thing. If there's some things you want or like, bundles and things, do get in earlier, like today, because if they run out of stock, then they're not going to be back before the promotion finishes. So it's best to get it sooner while it's still there. If you've got any questions, do reach out to me and I'll be happy to help. So I enjoy coming live to you each Thursday to share different ideas, to give you confidence in your card making, and also just to help you. It's nice to be able to gather together and connect as well. All right, let me come back in. Okay, great. So thank you to everyone that joined us today. Just looking at the comments there, Linda had to go, but that's fine. Appreciate the others that are here. Elizabeth and Joanne, thank you for joining us. Jocelyn was here too. And I know there's probably others and you don't necessarily comment and stuff, but I do appreciate you watching. And I know some people send me emails and let me know that you enjoy the lives. So thanks so much. Do reach out to me if you need any help or any questions. And if you're not on my mailing list, please subscribe, and then you'll be kept up to date with what's happening. So why not have a look in your stash, see if you've got any black and white paper that maybe you can color, or you might even have some colored paper and there's a particular flower or image or whatever. Why not fussy cut it out and make that the focal point of your card? It doesn't necessarily have to be designer series papers in the background. You could make it a focal point of your card too. All right, well, thanks so much. I look forward to sharing with you next week. So thanks for being here. Now, remember that free shipping on orders $100 or more only until Saturday, but don't miss out on things that might sell out in the next few days. Reach out to me if you need any help. So enjoy your afternoon, and we will see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.